Welcome to a very festive and musical episode here of the Bladtcast. As always, I'm Christian Blatt, and today I'm joined by two people who you may or may not know, but you'll certainly remember their father. I'm chatting today with Des and Jesse Money, who, as the name implies, are the children of Eddie Money. Des, nice to talk to you again, and Jesse, nice to meet you.
Hi,
Hey
how's it
guys, how you
going?
doing? Thanks so much for having us on the show.
Well, and we're here to talk about a song that you have out, "Everybody Loves Christmas," a song for Dad that can be found pretty much everywhere, but including Des right on your YouTube channel. That's probably the easiest, one click place for people to find it, right?
Yep.
And the song itself is a re-record of your dad has a song called had a song Everybody Loves Christmas, which it was a fairly, in a big spot. It was in the second Santa Claus movie, and I know he sang it with Ronnie Spector. So talk a little bit about the decision to not just re-record the song, because I think you did something really interesting. It's sort of like that, there's that Unforgettable with Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole, sort of like blending the voices, and I think you guys did a great job of that. But talk about the decision of, hey, let's take a crack at this.
Well, after my dad passed away, Christmas was coming up. And so, obviously Everybody Loves Christmas was on the radio. And Des and I kind of made a decision like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could, have his vocals and redo that song? So Des produced the song and I wrote the lyrics to the verses. He originally wrote the lyrics about us and like buying toys for us and things like that. And so I was thinking about it and I haven't heard like a lot of Christmas songs that talk about loss and just losing somebody that isn't here anymore. So we decided to change up the lyrics and make it about like missing somebody on Christmas, but also remembering them in like an honorable way and just enjoying the Christmas spirit and not just to be sad, but also to be happy of the memories that you shared.
Right, and I think that Des, you'd probably agree that if you're going to have a Christmas song that maybe reflects on something like that, it's going to help if it is upbeat and catchy, and something that people are going to want to listen to. Because the song that I always think of if I think of loss at Christmas times, there's a song called "Christmas Shoes," which is just such a sad song, and it's like if it comes on, you're like, oh no, I'm going to be bummed out, you know. But
Yeah,
this, it's like I'm going to sing along in my head.
yeah. My dad was always about bringing the Christmas energy, and it was always a great time for us for the Money family every year. So we're happy to just be spreading the Christmas joy and continuing the tradition.
So, let me ask you both. Was it, it's not just a song. He really did love Christmas, and was it a big time there at the Money household?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. He would dress up as Santa Claus, and wrap all the presents. And he and my mom, they really made it special for us every Christmas. So, I mean, when this time of year comes around, we really like to think of those times.
Well, and I mean, it's a time of the year too where I guess, lots of other things, things that kids have in their lives or other holidays. I'm sure that there were plenty of years where, you might have had to have been out on the road or working on something. But Christmas, it's like, for the most part, show business pretty much just shuts down. The music industry, it's like at that there's like that first Monday after Thanksgiving. And then after that, everybody's like, yeah, let's catch up in the new year. So I'm sure it was great to actually have them around.
Yeah, that's true. Because like during the summer, he'd always be touring, and then when Christmas came around, we really had that time to be together as a family. And we took trips to like London and Paris, and did a lot of special things. So the holidays were always great for us.
Mhm.
Yeah, and look, I think your dad's song is great. I really like this, and I hadn't listened to your dad's in a while, so after I'd listened to yours a few times, I listened, and yeah, I did notice that you rewrote it a little bit. I mean, it's still the same song, but it's nice that you put a personal touch lyrically and vocally. In obviously your song, your dad's song, those are great Christmas songs. As kids, what were some that you just really liked, Christmas songs, whether they were, the classics or from the TV specials? Let me ask you first, Des, what were like some of your favorite Christmas songs as a kid?
I really like Jingle Bell Rock. That one's kind of a classic right there, right? And yeah, Jingle Bell Rock, I would say, and Blue Christmas is another good one.
Yeah, and
What do you think?
I know there's a few versions of Blue Chris. I know there's a few versions of Blue Christmas, but I mean, it pretty much like Elvis is really the standard, I
Yeah,
think, for Blue
Elvis.
Christmas. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Jesse?
Rocking around the Christmas tree, rocking around the Christmas tree. That was always fun to dance around the Christmas tree. And obviously, every morning, whenever all the kids are opening up their presents, they play all those classic Christmas songs. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I don't know. I have two small kids. My son's 7, my daughter's 5. So basically, Christmas music. It's like the day after Halloween is basically like when all of a sudden, the all Christmas station here in LA, and Sirius XM has like 5 Christmas stations. So it's pretty constant. But you start to realize it's like I'm kind of hearing a lot of the same ones, and I love a lot of these songs. But it'd be nice to kind of put things into into the rotation. I was thinking about your version is great, your dad's song was also great, but there's that Slade song, Christmas Everybody. Billy Squire has that, Christmas is a time to say I love you. And I personally love Father Christmas by the Kinks, and I'm like, if I want to hear those songs, I have to hear them by myself. It's like there's just so much, but it's almost like they have like a top 40 of Christmas music. It's like you're going to hear 3 Mariah Carey songs if you listen for an hour.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's doing covers and doing all the Christmas songs. So this one was really special for us because we get to sing with our dad. And Chris Lord Alge helped us out and took the original vocal, and Des did all the music, like drums, and produced it. So that was really fun too, watching us do like the jingle bells on the tambourine, and all that stuff. So it turned out really fun.
Just from a technical aspect, was it harder to do than you thought it was? Because I mean, I guess this song, I think it's from the late 90s, right? So it's not like
Mhm.
whereas like if he had recorded it in the 70s, it might have been really hard to isolate his vocal and do something with it, right, Des?
Yeah, with this one, actually, we weren't able to get the multi-track, but
Oh,
with
okay.
the new technology and everything, you can actually separate the vocal from the song without having the multi-track. And Chris helped us out with that, and so we were able to get his isolated track from the original song and throw it into our song. Yeah, made it happen. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh no, that's great. And I know that both of you, you spent years touring with your dad, and I know also there was the Access TV show, Real Money. But I'd assume at some point you sang the song live with your dad, or was this doing it in the studio the first time you were actually singing it with him?
Yeah, this was the first time getting in the studio and singing it with.
Okay.
Yeah, it would just be something he would play and like sing with us. It was never something that we did on stage together. So this was really special for us.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And obviously growing up around music, I'm sure that it's just what your dad did, and it was always probably just something you were there with. But was there a moment where maybe, you saw your dad do something, or you heard a different artist entirely where you were like, "Hey dad, can I do this too?" I'll ask both of you. I'll ask you first, Jesse. Was there a moment where you were like, "Oh, I'd like to do what dad does?"
Well, I mean, we were just raised on the road, and how we saw him perform. I mean, I idolized him and always wanted to be on stage with him. And ever since I was a little girl, I would just run up on stage, with my little like bells on my shoes. My mom said she had to like hold my dress so that I didn't run on stage during his performance. So I think like I instinctively knew that I wanted to be a performer and a musician. But obviously, my dad paved the way and taught us everything we know.
Yeah, was it pretty much the same thing for you, Des?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I've always been inspired by my dad, and also Jess was always very outgoing and great singer and everything like that. So Jess kind of taught me how to sing as well. And yeah, we always just love doing music and everything like that, and really happy to still be doing music with my family and keep it going. So that's all about.
Yeah, no, it can always be interesting when you have obviously a famous parent and then you follow in their footsteps. It might seem unrelated, but I remember once years and years ago seeing an interview with the actress Holly Robinson Pete. I think a lot of people might know who she was. She was on 21 Jump Street, a bunch of other stuff, but her dad was the original Gordon on Sesame Street, and she talked about getting a chance to be a guest star on Sesame Street. But she in her scene, every time she would talk, she'd say, "Okay, Daddy," and they're like, "No, no, you have to call him Gordon. He doesn't have a daughter on this show," and she just couldn't get the hang of it, you know. So like years later, she obviously became an actress, so it's fine. But it can just be funny because you just see it as normal, you know. So Jesse, you talking about running on stage as a little kid, it could have been at a moment where it's like, no, 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 this isn't a good time for, you know,
Yeah,
this is like
exactly. And then
this is the
later on,
encore, you know. Yeah,
yeah, and then later on,
people
I
are
would
holding up their
be.
lighters. Yeah, people are holding up their lighters for "Take Me Home Tonight." You know, come on, calm down a little bit.
There would be times where he'd be singing "Take Me Home Tonight," and I would be, just like rushing. I don't know, like I was always rushing. So it went from like running on stage when I wasn't supposed to running to the stage when I was supposed to be on stage.
Right. Well, obviously, this is a great song for this time of year. And Des, I think I talked to you about a year and a half ago, so I kind of wanted to check in and see how everything's going, and maybe what some of your plans are for 2023.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to release some new music and hopefully get like a new song every month or so and get back going with it. And Jess is also working on some new music, so got a lot of new music from the Money Family coming out next year. So we're really excited about that.
Oh, that's great. And is a big part of that hopefully getting out and playing it live, or are you just working on putting out the music? The same question for both of you.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to get back out there and start playing live shows again. We've been working at it again, so
Yeah.
hopefully early next year we get back out there and make it happen. Get to see everybody again, play some shows, and yeah, can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, I've been working on my album, and it'd be great to get out there and do some live shows. I had some small shows booked to just do, some cover songs and do some of my dad's songs. So I'm working on the album, and I hope to put that together so we can have just do the legacy of my dad's music and then also our music. So we're putting that together. It's coming along, but once we get the music out, the wheels are going to start turning for sure.
Well, yeah, that sounds great. And I mean, I would say that if we'd had this conversation a year ago, live music was still a little bit more hit and miss. And, even now you'll still have bands who have to cancel a couple shows, or, tours get postponed. But we're finally in a spot after a couple years of, people like you'd legitimately say like, "Hey, remember going to concerts?" And it would be so long ago.
Mhm.
And, it seems like we're in a good spot, and, a lot of great bands out on tour and just big shows, and I think that's I think people were so hungry for live music that it's been a great year for really for big tours, but also just small shows, because sometimes those big tours cost a little bit more than you
Yeah,
Right.
remember.
Yeah.
you know it's like yeah, I'd love to sit on the lower level, but not for $4,000. And I won't name any names, but well, to keep tabs on both of you, I have the social media for you, Des. It's Des Money Music, and Jesse, I like yours. It's Who's Jesse Money, right? That's the correct one for you.
Just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Soul searching.
You just try to figure it out. And of course, for your dad, it's always eddiemoney.com. And so like I said in the intro, the song, out there on YouTube, and I'm sure people can find it, all the way they find music, all the music apps. And hopefully a couple of the Christmas stations work it in some of the rotation. It's really, this is the week where you hear a lot more Christmas music, even on the stations that aren't doing that format. And it's a great song for people to hear. And as I told you before we started, our audio audience is going to hear it momentarily when we wrap things up here. But for our YouTube audience watching live or after the fact, going to Dez's YouTube channel is probably the easiest way to find it. Well, I love that you both took the time to chat with me today. I really appreciate it. And it was great to get the chance to hear the song. And I'm sure it would make your dad proud to have been able to hear it. But it must have just been a lot of fun for the two of you to actually, get in the studio and record with his voice. So I'm sure it was great for you, and it's a fun song for everybody to listen to.
Thank you
So
so much.
yeah, I appreciate it. And again, for our audio audience, give a listen right now. All right. I'm going to